Welcome back to the Fantasy Now Plus YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, November 18th, and we are back to talk about waiver wire pickups for your week 12 lineups. We got 4 teams on bye, the entire league injured. So who's available? Find out right after this. Let's start the show.
You're watching Priority Waivers only on Fantasy Now Plus.
We are back. Charlene, you are back.
From
Paris or Berlin or wherever you were last week.
If only. I was on solo parent duty and my kids did not have school because it was Veterans Day. So
I hate that for you.
Kind of like Paris, I guess, but not really.
Well, we are back to talk about waiver wire pickups, stashes, players that we're tired of, and some players that I think you can effectively drop this week. I think their time is done. But first, let's talk about the injury report. This one's long, so I'm going to only try to spend the first couple minutes of the show and not half the show on this because
it's insane. And we say that every week. And I swear every time I think maybe I'll get better.
This week is absolutely the worst injury week, in my opinion. In fact, I think our injury list is almost longer than our waiver list. And this morning, our waiver list was actually really short. And I was like, this is great. And then I looked down at the injury list and I'm like, hold on, we have to add more players.
Yeah.
The injury list is too long. So first off, let's talk about 2 people that are definitely out for the season. It looks like Michael Penix Jr. has a bone bruise on the same knee from last year. He will most likely be out for the season. All reports show that he will be out for the season. So it's going to be Kirk Cousins' time in Atlanta. This sucks for Michael Penix because this is year 5 out of 8 eligible seasons from college to the NFL that he has ended the season on the season-ending injury list. So that is tough for him. Calvin Ridley's the next up, broken fibula. Honestly, you probably weren't rostering either Penix or Calvin Ridley. We said back in week 4 to drop Calvin Ridley. Then he had like an 18-point week, and then he got injured and hasn't been anything since. He scored a total of 18 points since we said to drop him, or 20 point something points.
Yeah.
So we'll, again, not really worth it, but hey, if you're rostering Calvin Ridley, you can definitely drop him. Drake London, he has a PCL sprain. This is big time. 18.9 points last week. He's been wide receiver 1 over the last 3 weeks. This is huge for Atlanta. You already have Michael Penix down. Now you have Drake London going down. So there's been some MRIs. This is going to be questionable throughout the week. I doubt he plays this week. Josh Jacobs does not require surgery on his knee, which is good. It means no ACL injury, nothing too serious, but he's definitely most likely going to miss this week. Could miss future weeks after that. So we will have to keep alert on what is going on with Josh Jacobs.
They keep saying he has a chance to play this week, and I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's I'm doubtful on that. This one is tough because Josh Jacobs has been so good. You rely on him so much. I rely on him in many of my leagues, and it's tough because people don't draft Josh Jacobs nearly as high as they draft like a Bijan or Jonathan Taylor or Christian McCaffrey, which is a shame because Josh Jacobs has been really, really good this year. He's been really good on the Packers.
Yeah, he's been solid. Yeah, losing him in London, that's that's rough.
Yeah. So next up on the list, Aaron Rodgers has a broken left wrist. Getting mixed reporting whether or not he needs surgery, but it sounds like he does not need surgery, and he is going to push to play this week.
I also don't think that he
left wrist, but I'm a little doubtful that he is going to play this week.
Yeah.
This one I was not aware of, but saw on the injury report this morning. Nico Collins was limited in yesterday's practice report. Now it's an estimated report. not necessarily a thing, but he does have an ankle injury. I think he's going to be fine. Wide receiver 3 over the last 3 weeks, wide receiver 4 last week with 24.2 with Davis Mills. This is honestly, this is kind of a big injury if he actually
That's a big
is
deal. Yeah.
dealing with.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that either.
Yeah, I was looking at something in my research and I saw that and I'm like, ooh, this is a big deal. Speaking of the Houston Texans, CJ Stroud is still remains in concussion protocol. Yep. Dylan Gabriel also in concussion protocol. We saw Shador Sanders come in after, and well, they played about the same. So
did they though?
Jalen Warren has an ankle injury. He came out of last week's game. He said he wanted to go back in. This is something you're gonna have to watch, I think. Packers,
yeah,
like this is a big deal for the Packers. Do they need him? Yes. Are they fine letting him rest? Also, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I know we've got Kenny Gainwell on our list regardless, but if Warren's out, sorry, I'll leave that for later.
Spoiler. Yeah, no, if Kenneth Gainwell, if Jalen Warren is out, that just moves somebody up.
Yeah,
right
way up the list. Yeah.
Kamani Vidal has a thigh injury. He came out of last week's brutal loss. I think everybody on the Chargers was hurt last week. In fact, actually, now that I'm really thinking about it, one person that I did not make the list. Did Justin Herbert actually get hurt? Yeah. I mean, he went 10 for 18.
Back in though, right?
He had a very, very
he was
bad
just bad. He was just bad.
10 for 18, 81 yards. Bruised ego, probably, but
yeah. I mean,
Amari DeMarcado for the Arizona Cardinals, a high ankle sprain. He is unlikely to play week 12. Bayshaw Tootin had a good game, 13.4. He has an ankle injury. He says he's good. His ankle is good, so I think he'll be fine. His snap counting has been going up as well. So yeah, they definitely do need him. I'm trying to think. Are we talking about it? He was on my list earlier, and I think I took him off of the waiver list. But Josh Palmer has a knee injury, something to watch. Dalton Schultz still dealing with a shoulder injury, even after being questionable for what was that Sunday night. Even though he was questionable for Sundays for his game in week 11, he still ended up playing 11.1 points. But there's something to be concerned about with a shoulder injury. And the last two people not injured, but people that you need to pay attention to. Jamar Chase is suspended for week 12 for spitting on Jalen Ramsey in their last game. I expected this as soon as that happened. I was like, well, go ahead and count him out of week 12. And Justin Fields is benched again for Tyrod Taylor.
Well, they said that would happen. They said as soon as Tyrod was healthy that he was going to go back to being the starting quarterback. So here we are.
You have to be the starting quarterback to go back to being the starting quarterback. Tyrod Taylor was the starting quarterback for the New York Jets this season, just as much as he was the starting quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers when Justin Herbert was a rookie. It didn't happen. He never played. So,
well, here we are.
Justin Fields, you might be finding a doctor that can give him an injection into his ribs. So that was bad. That was really bad. Let's talk about the players. So first up on our list, we got Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett has been very solid. And that's probably an understatement. And I mean, he went up against finally a healthy Niners squad. and he I was going to say he held his own, but I think he did more than that. I mean, he set the record for completions, went 47 of 57 with 452 yards. He finishes the QB4. Over the last 3 weeks, QB3. He's had 19 to 24 points in every game that he started. So, and he's thrown 2 TDs in every game that he started. Like, what more could you ask for in a starting quarterback? If you unless you have one of the top QBs, and even then this season, even the top guys are questionable, right? They're not consistent. Nobody's been that consistent this year.
Yeah,
I'd be targeting Brissett.
57 pass attempts last week, 47 completions, over 450 yards against the San Francisco 49ers. Insane numbers.
Yeah.
I'd be going after him too. I mean, 10-3 touchdown to interception ratio, and 2 of those came against the 49ers this past week.
Yeah.
Next couple of weeks, he's got Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and Los Angeles. So a semi-tough run there could hinder him. But again, when you have look at it: Indianapolis, Green Bay bye week, Dallas, Seattle, San Francisco. That's a gauntlet in itself. And he got almost 22, 20, 25.
That's what
20,
I'm saying.
24. Like,
and now he's got Jacksonville, who's been allowing an average of 222 yards per game. Like, this is, I think, at least for this next game, he's golden.
Yeah.
But even, I think he's matchup proof at this point. I think we can say that he's matchup proof.
Which is absolutely crazy, because before Jacoby, when it was Kyler, we were all like, well, this offense
every week
sucks.
Was like, well, I don't know.
This sucks. Like, everybody sucks. McBride is the only guy. And now you have Michael Wilson out there. You got the running backs have figured it out. Like, the Cardinals offense has just kind of figured it out now. Even though they're losing, they're still figuring it out.
Everything enough. I mean, everything is clicking. I don't think, I mean, they're not losing because of the offense.
No.
So
Arizona has finally figured it out to the point where we have more Arizona players on today's list than any other team.
Yeah.
That
is wild.
It's very sad. Let's talk about the next one, and this will be the last time we ever talk about this player this season.
We hope. This sounds a lot like all those times we were talking about Sam Darnold. I mean, it did finally happen, right? We get to stop talking about him.
Yeah, he finally turned into a human again.
So, I mean,
Alec Pierce.
So, he's currently owned in 33.9% of leagues, unless you're on Sleeper, in which case he's owned by, like, I think 54% or something like that.
87 right now.
Oh, well.
Sleeper.
Okay, so if he is still available in your league, you should be picking him up. He should be your top priority on the waiver wire. I don't know how much more we want to talk about it. Over the last 3 weeks, he's had 24.3% of the target share in Indy, only behind Michael Pittman, and it just keeps going up every week. So go get this guy. Just go get him, and then we can stop talking about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming off of a bye week this week, and he might be wide receiver 40, but he also missed 2 weeks because of injury. He had a 6.8 week against Arizona. He had a 4.6 week in week 1 against Miami. But if we're looking at weeks 6 through 10, and that includes a 6.8 and an 8.9, he's wide receiver 10.
Right. And I'm not counting the beginning of the season, because it did take a little bit for him to get up to speed.
Yeah.
And like we've said over the last, I don't know, at least the last 3 weeks, we've been saying he's no longer boom or bust. Like, that was always his role on the team. He's the boom or bust guy. He's going to get the big plays, and that's not it anymore. He's there. He is a go-to guy. He is a trustworthy wide receiver. If he's available in any of my leagues, I would be dropping at least 50% of my budget on him.
I would. At this point in the season, week 12, we're a couple of weeks from the playoffs. Yeah. I'd be getting the best players I can, and right now, Alec Pierce is one of them. Wide receiver 18 over the last 3 weeks, and that includes a bye week.
Yeah.
So, okay, next guy.
That's all we have to say about that.
Michael Wilson, wide receiver 7 over the last 3 weeks. We mentioned with Jacoby Brissett, all things have changed. Marvin Harrison is going to miss some time. He's definitely missing this week because of his appendicitis, and he had to have an appendectomy. Or I'm sorry, he missed week 11, potentially longer. I know athletes are freak humans, and they don't miss as much time for minor surgeries, but I mean, I remember this is like a 2 to 3 week injury. You can't do anything for a couple of weeks until everything is healed. Now, I mean, rich people probably have the better science. Just how the life works, but I would fully expect him to miss this week as well.
At least this week, yeah.
He's currently not projected any stats this week against Jacksonville. So this
Yeah.
could lead to a Michael Wilson showing again where he scored 33.5 points against San Francisco. 18 targets.
Yeah.
18. And 15 of those were receptions. They still got 6 targets out to Greg Dortch. They still got Trey McBride, his 11 targets. Michael Wilson was the guy last week. I think it's going to continue. I mean, even if you look past when Harrison was playing 8.4, 7, 9.1, 7.4, he's only gotten in the end zone once this year. Week 2,
yeah,
he scored 8
what I was going to
points.
say is the only thing he's missing is those red zone targets.
Yeah. 185 yards on his 18 targets. Is a pretty big deal. I'd be picking him up, especially with Marvin Harrison still out. Definitely a priority ad, I believe.
And we already said they're playing the Jags this week, so he's got a good matchup.
Alex Pierce is nobody. Josh, you know better. Yeah, it says Alec. I had to go back and make sure it said Alec.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
No, you're like, hang on, did I do that?
Hold on, wait a minute. Just checking a couple of these comments here. No, we cannot talk about the fantasy traders during my show. Sean's gonna yell at me. Okay, next up on the list, Kenneth Gainwell makes this list today specifically because of he was good already in a backup role. Jaylen Warren potentially going to be out with an ankle injury does make this a little bit more of a juicy pickup here. If we think back to that one random game in Europe where Jaylen Warren was a scratch, all of a sudden last minute scratch, nobody knew because it was at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time. So you were probably asleep. He just missed it. And Kenneth Gainwell came in and scored 31.4 points. Gainwell does good when he has the opportunity. He even had the full opportunity because Jaylen Warren did play a little bit, but Gainwell got in for 63% of the snaps and scored almost 30 points. He had 8 targets, 7 receptions, 81 yards, and found the end zone twice. When Jaylen Warren's not in there, Kenneth Gainwell is the guy. And if Warren misses time, Gainwell is a must add. He needs to be added. If you have Jaylen Warren, you need to also have Kenneth Gainwell. Not even a question.
Another thing we need to discuss is the fact that Aaron Rodgers might not even play. So if you got Mason Rudolph that can't hit a target to save his life, I mean, he's going to be dumping off that ball to Gainwell a lot. Yeah. So that, I mean, if you didn't need any other reasons to go pick up Gainwell, that's one more.
Yes. Looking into this question here. Are Mason or Charbonnet droppable for Sean Tucker?
Yes.
Emmanuel Wilson or Kenneth Gainwell? The answer is yes. Yes. In my opinion,
that's the easiest question to answer ever.
In my opinion, it's Charbonnet over Mason. Mason's still getting some work. Not a lot of work.
I think if we're talking about Sean Tucker, you can drop any of those guys for Sean Tucker. That's my opinion. I think even after Bucky comes back, he's gonna have a decent role on the team. I would prefer him over.
Let's just talk about Sean Tucker. Go ahead.
So we're just going to talk about Sean Tucker. Oh yeah, I guess he's next on the list anyway. Hey, look at that segue.
Well, actually, the question was for Kenneth Gainwell, Sean Tucker, or Emmanuel Wilson. Stick around because we're going to talk about all 3 of them. So,
right,
Sean Tucker, you go.
All right, Sean Tucker finished as RB2 this week. 19 carries for 106 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, plus 2 receptions for 34 yards and a receiving touchdown. So yes, I like Sean Tucker. He has surpassed Rachaad White, which is no surprise. I have never been a fan of Rachaad White. definitely better than Rachaad White. Is he better than Bucky Irving? No, he is not. So while Bucky's out, Sean Tucker is a must-have. When Bucky comes back, I still think Sean Tucker is a must-have, but he's not going to look like this. He's still going to have a role on this offense. I do believe it will end up being a split backfield to some degree. But they've got, they've got the Rams up next, then they've got Arizona, then they've got New Orleans. The Rams D has allowed an average of 225 rushing yards over the last 3 games. So, and that was against that was against the Jags, the Saints, and the Niners. So, I mean, not terrible run games. Well, New Orleans maybe, but I think he's got a good spot here. I feel like you disagree. I feel like your face is telling me that you disagree.
I let you keep Sean Tucker on here because I wanted you to talk about him, because people are going to inquire about him. It's absolutely the right thing to do.
Listen, I think he's overvalued.
Yeah,
because of the fact that we know. Yeah, I think he's definitely overvalued because of the fact that Bucky is coming back soon.
Yes. I get 34 points, 19 rushes, 106 yards. He found the end zone 3 times. That's great. I do think that's great. Last year, week 6 against New Orleans, he had 34.2 points off of 14 rush attempts, and he found the end zone twice. What he did after that week in week 6, he then scored a total of 31.4 points, which was less than he scored that entire week. He had 34 rush attempts, 165 yards, finishes RB 67 from week 7 through 18. Not great. And the 34.2 point week was his one outlier. It was his one single double-digit game of the season. He had a 10.2 week back in week 8 against New Orleans, where he did find the end zone. But we might have just found his outlier game. I mean, this could just be the Sean Tucker outlier game. We all hope Bucky Irving comes back. A lot of my teams want Bucky Irving to come back, and hopefully he does. What was Rachaad just not the hot hand? It looks like, yes, 12 total touches. He just wasn't the hot hand. And that,
yeah, but I feel like he's been on the decline, and Sean Tucker's been on the rise.
I mean, if the decline means the lowest snap percentage you see since Bucky's been hurt was 55%, sure. But that whole team just sucked that week. 72%, 60%, whereas Sean Tucker's looking at 32 and 44. Now, Tucker is going up, but again, he also had the hot hand against the Buffalo Bills, and they still ended up losing. I don't mind going out and getting him, especially if you have Bucky and Rachaad. Drop Rachaad, pick up Sean Tucker. Love that for you.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't just be picking up Sean Tucker just to have Sean Tucker. My opinion. Maybe Josh has tainted my mind with Sean Tucker and how it's just... Thanks, Josh. Somebody has to be the snarky guy on the show. And you have maybe rubbed off on my Sean Tucker hate a little too much. Next up here, we got Emmanuel Wilson, the running back for the Green Bay Packers. He's the backup running back for the Green Bay Packers. And we talked about Josh Jacobs missing time, potentially. Now, this is if you have Josh Jacobs, go pick up Emmanuel Wilson type thing. 13.9 points last week, 11 rush attempts. He did find the end zone. He did also have a reception for 9 yards. Now, this is not, he's going to score you 30 points like Sean Tucker did. This is Emmanuel Wilson will get the bulk of the workload for Green Bay, who has seemingly just wanted to run the ball all of a sudden and not actually pass it because, well, when Christian Watson is your best target, that might be the way we want to go. His only challenging people for his job is Chris Brooks and Marshawn Lloyd, never mind, just kidding. He's on IR. So you got Chris Brooks or Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson has proven that he is the back behind Josh Jacobs. So if Josh Jacobs does miss time, you have Josh Jacobs like I do. Go pick up Emmanuel Wilson. So back to the question of, are Mason and Sharps droppable for Sean Tucker, Wilson, or Gainwell? The answer is yes. You can pick up all three for either of those two. I would prefer to keep Mason, but that might just be because for some reason I trust Mason in that offense versus any running back in the Seattle offense.
Yeah, I'm struggling with Mason now that Aaron Jones is back. Like, it's right back to the way it was at the beginning of the season, where I just don't feel like he's a trustworthy play. Like, you don't know how much work he's going to get every week now. There's some weeks where he gets next to nothing. So I don't like it anymore, which sucks because he's so good when it's just him.
Yeah. Let's bring that question. I've been putting Cortland Sutton in my flex, but at this point I might just start Tyler Warren with McBride.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of starting two tight ends if you have two elite tight ends that you can start.
I would agree with that. And also, I mean, I also have Cortland Sutton in a lot of leagues, and if I have other options, I have been using the other options and leaving him on my bench because this is looking like Troy Franklin's offense at this point.
I'm very happy to have been a Troy Franklin truther from last year, and it led into this year. And I've got Franklin in a lot of leagues now, and I'm very happy about that decision.
I definitely do not have enough Franklin on my leagues, and way too much Cortland Sutton.
It's way too hard to get him now. Like, that's the problem, is that it's way too hard.
No, you can't. If you didn't have him early, like, too bad.
The only way you could get him is maybe go to a person that only believes in older veterans that are like, oh yeah, this guy's good, and don't really think about the younger guys being good, and don't like to look at stats and realize that, oh, Troy Franklin actually is pretty good.
Well, for most leagues, the trade deadline is now gone. So
that's true. Redraft. Okay, so next up on our list here, we have our guys that are worth a look. First up, we've got, if I can click the right buttons, Davis Mills.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I can't believe that he has been in the conversation these last couple weeks. But when you're throwing 2 TDs and have a rushing TD in the last 2 weeks, he's been an average of QB3 over the last 2 weeks, which are the only 2 games he's played. I mean, he's got a good matchup coming up against the Buffalo D. They're banged up. They're struggling. I mean, there's no guarantee that Stroud, we don't know if Stroud is in or out at this point. I don't think he's ready to come back. It doesn't sound like it, but if Stroud is still out, I like Davis Mills. Thoughts?
If Stroud is out, then yeah, you can roster Davis Mills. But as soon as Stroud is back, he's going to immediately not play ever again. So that does make things a little tough.
This is a desperation ad or a deep league ad. If you're
yeah. I mean, if you're playing a super flex with like deep bench spots, Davis Mills is probably already rostered because he's probably been playing for 2 weeks now. But yeah, I mean, if you're struggling, if you're hurting, because you still have CJ Stroud, you might have Aaron Rodgers, Dylan Gabriel, Michael Penix, Justin Fields, any of those guys, Davis Mills is something that you can pick up this week.
He has finished as QB3 over the last 2 weeks. There's a long list of QBs behind him. And a lot of those guys, I would be comfortable playing Mills over.
Yeah.
So
you just don't fully know what you're gonna get from Davis Mills week. So next up, Bam Knight, Son of a Knight. The last 3 weeks he has finished as running back 32. Last week he finishes running back 18 with 14.5 points. He's rostered in 28.7% of leagues. And like I said, with Michael Wilson, with Jacoby Brissett, for some reason, the Arizona Cardinals offense has just figured it out. He did get 4 completions for 21 yards. He only got 9 touches last week, but still 14.5 points. DeMarcado only got 4. He did get hurt. Michael Carter got 7 targets. Wow. 5 reception. He had 9.8 points. James Conner obviously hurt. Trey Benson still on IR. You never know what way they're going to lean for the running back game, but it does look like when they do run the ball, it is Donovan Knight. So Bam Knight is somebody that I would go get.
Yeah. I agree.
Real quick question. Would y'all drop Trey Tucker for Michael Wilson? Says I wouldn't drop Tucker if you could stash him for emergency start. I agree. Trey Tucker is outside of Brock Bowers. Trey Tucker is that offense.
Right.
I mean, he's so listed far down on the depth chart, but he's the only one that's actually producing. He is getting targets. Didn't get him against Jacksonville or Denver, but he's got Cleveland, LA, Denver the next 3 weeks. That does look promising. I'm worried that when Marvin Harrison does come back and
exactly
has his number 1 target, Michael Wilson's going to go back down again a little bit. I know we did just hype up Michael Wilson and say, yep, he's here, he's there. But I'd rather have Trey Tucker in this spot. Now, if we're really looking far and we're really thinking, okay, I need to make a deep playoff run, and you're already thinking about the playoffs, let's look at 15, 16, and 17, where Michael Wilson has Houston, Atlanta, Cincinnati in the championship, whereas Trey Tucker has Philly, Houston, and New York Giants. Both are juicy matchups here, but if you're listening to this show, you're probably trying to fight week to week to get to the playoffs. And I would keep Trey Tucker.
I would too.
Yeah. But yeah, I do like his volume, but I think that volume does go down. So
agreed.
Yeah, next up, we've got Christian Watson. Good. This week is just gross on just players in general, but Christian Watson.
Yeah, I might be the only one that actually kind of likes Christian Watson. I think everybody else is kind of out on this, but I mean, as long as Golden is still out with that shoulder injury, it still leaves a lot of room for Christian Watson. I mean, this week he had 4 receptions on 5 targets for 46 yards and 2 touchdowns. So while, he doesn't have a lot, he's not getting a lot there, he's getting looks in the red zone. Mm-hmm. That's still a big deal. So it's making up for the lack of yardage on the other side. He had 78.2% of snaps this week. Last week he had 82%, so it's still kind of in that same ballpark. I would say, though, I don't know what's going on with Jordan Love. I know that he went out of the game and then came back into the game, but he does have he is dealing with some sort of shoulder injury. He is listed as questionable right now, and I have no idea what that means. So definitely keep an eye on that, because if Jordan Love for some reason does not play this week, then we're not even going to discuss Christian Watson.
Yeah, I don't want to see Malik Willis out there playing, but the last 3 weeks, Christian Watson has 2 targets in the red zone. Both were receptions, both were touchdowns. So he is getting the targets there. Yeah. The other 2 players, Romeo Dobbs, he's 1 for 3, did not get a touchdown, and Xavier Williams was 1 for 1, also did not get a touchdown. So if we're really thinking about players that are making an impact in the red zone, it is Christian Watson.
Yeah.
And with Tucker Kraft out,
exactly,
Christian Watson has to do well. He has to do well if Green Bay wants to do anything. And now with Josh Jacobs potentially out, this just leads me more into the Christian Watson.
Exactly.
Train.
See, you're coming on board.
I don't like it. I'm not gonna just go get him, but like, get it. AJ Barner is the next one on the list, tied in 11 over the last 3 weeks. I feel like we have talked about AJ Barner at some point this year, probably multiple times, honestly.
Yeah.
17.1 points last week. He finished as tight end 4. He is part of that Seattle Seahawks offense that has been doing very good. I have been starting AJ Barner in several leagues this year throughout the season, have been pretty happy with them. But I mean, if we're looking at his overall season since week 4, he has only had 2 single-digit games. Week 7, he had 2 points. Week 10, he had 0.3, which he had no targets or anything. So I don't know where that 0.3 came from, but it came from somewhere. Last week, he had 11 targets, 10 receptions against Los Angeles. He has an easy Titans matchup this week, then Minnesota, Atlanta. Like these should be pretty cake matchups for AJ Barner. I would expect that from him.
I agree.
Next up on the list, Jaden Higgins.
Jaden Higgins. Finally, the Texans are doing something with Jaden Higgins.
Because of Davis Mills?
It could be. That could have something to do with it. Either way, though, I'm liking it. 7+ targets in 3 of the last 4 games. Snap shares trending in the right direction. He is officially the wide receiver 2 on the team. And it looks like they're starting to trust him more. But like you said, this could be a Davis Mills, Jaden Higgins connection. So I mean, we'll have to see what happens when Stroud comes back. But yeah, he had season high yardage in week 10, and then he upped that in week 11. So I mean, what more can you say? I guess as long as Davis Mills is in, Jaden Higgins is your guy.
Things I would never thought I would ever see. Watson
right?
and Higgins helped take down Josh Allen and Dynasty this week. This is the world we live in, guys.
Yep.
Okay. This next one on the list I have put on here, I think he's worth a stash. Brian Robinson Jr. And I can't wait to hear what Charlene thinks about my take here and why I have him on the list. But let's just think about this as I'm trying to pull up some stats here. Let's think about Brian Robinson and the 49ers. 2.4 points last week. Probably thinking, what are you talking about? 11.5 points the 2 weeks prior because he got into the end zone. Okay. He hasn't had one single game that has had 10 rush attempts at all. He's never had 10. He had 10 touches in week 1 against Seattle. That's it. That's the highlight of the season. But the 2 weeks before the Arizona game, he did find the end zone, which is great. Now, I didn't say go pick him up and start him immediately. I said worth a stash because we are getting closer to the end of the season. But players do get banged up. If Christian McCaffrey goes down, Brian Robinson's the guy. Now, I'm not saying Christian McCaffrey is going to go down, but if the 49ers are in a comfortable position to where they know their seeding is probably going to be around here or there, they're going to make the playoffs, they might try to rest Christian McCaffrey a little bit heading down the stretch.
That would
and
be
I'd rather have
idea.
Brian Robinson Jr. right now than in week 15 when CMC is not playing or he is taking half the snaps because they're resting him, or say week 17 because they're resting him. If you have spots on your bench that are available that you have a guy that's scoring 2 points like Jalen Noel, go get Brian Robinson, because if anything happens to CMC, this is the player that you want.
Well, I mean, CMC is still doing succubus things and sucking the energy out of. I mean, Bethune went down with an injury. We just can't keep a kicker healthy. Like, I think that's his first go-to target is let me take out the kicker. We don't really need them anyway. So Pinero's got a hamstring injury now.
Yeah, we have all these kicking issues. Let's get rid of every kicker we ever have. Purdy came back. That takes a little bit out of CMC. Ayuk
Right. So
still
he's got
hasn't
to go
opened the
find it
window.
somewhere else.
Jennings is back. Pearsall's back. Like CMC is gonna start fading soon. It's just I'd rather have that handicap, the emergency player right now heading down the stretch because people aren't going to be thinking about it right now. So,
And if you are the CMC owner and you don't have,
you should have Brian Robinson Jr. Like
you
that.
should absolutely go and get him.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So, okay, next segment here. Players that you shouldn't get fooled on because they had a good week. First up, Xavier Legette, wide receiver 13 last week. Is it Legette season? Is he good? Are the Panthers good? 18.3 points, 8 targets.
Okay, but when you're talking about that, though, you got to talk about Bryce Young because good Lord.
Bryce Young balled. Bryce Young absolutely balled.
The question should be, is Bryce Young good? Is he there? Is this the turning point, or was that a flash in the pan? Because if Bryce Young is in fact good, and this is the turning point, then you can make the argument for Legette.
Yeah. But Ted McMillan still exists. Rico Dowdle still exists. Jatavian Sanders still exists. Legette has, for a very long, not for a very long time, he's only a second-year player. All of last season, he had every opportunity to be the guy. Never really became the guy. He's had opportunities. He's just, I don't trust him to continue being like this. If that makes sense. I don't trust him to find the end zone every week. He has 3 games this season where he has scored more than 4 points. 4.01 points because he had week 1, he had a 4-point game. 3 games.
I have him on a few benches.
All 3 of those games, he scored a touchdown. So let's just pretend, those touchdowns didn't exist. He dropped them like he does a lot of other things. We're looking at a 5-point game instead of 11. We're looking at an 18-point game. He had 9 receptions out of 11 targets, 92 yards. 92 yards on 9 receptions for a wide receiver is not. Those are running back numbers, guys. And then 4 receptions, 8 targets, 1 touchdown. He'd be at 12 points. Now, 4 receptions, 83 yards. Okay, but outlier? This is an outlier game for him. I wouldn't get fooled with him. Let somebody else pick up the landmine because just as much as he can score a touchdown and get you 14 points, he could also get you 0 or 3.
Who do they have next?
Or I'm sorry, 3 again. He averages, I think, 3 points a game. He has San Francisco next. Who has no defense, so. But then he has the Rams. And then right when you need him the most to make the playoffs, he has a bye week. He's not worth the landmine.
No.
In my humble opinion. And Ted exists, so. Next guy up, you probably are like, who in the hell is this guy? Because to be honest with you, I also said the exact same thing this morning. Tyrell Shavers for the Buffalo Bills. He had 4 receptions on 5 targets, a touchdown last week, 90 yards, 19 points. He hasn't had 19 points all season combined. He's played in games. He's played in every single game this season. And his most points he has scored was 5.7 in week 6 against Atlanta, who Legette also just scored a bunch of points on.
Right.
Don't get fooled. Don't look at the waivers and go, oh my God, this guy scored 19 points last week. They still have Khalil Shakir. Curtis Samuel, even hurt, is better than this guy. Josh Palmer was hurt. Elijah Moore was hurt. They had a lot of injuries. That's the thing, is the Buffalo Bills had a lot of injuries.
So if they still have a lot of injuries, then he might be worth a look. And we don't even need to talk about Keon Coleman. Do the Bills even like him?
Hold on. Stop skipping my segments here. I'm not getting tricked by Tyrell Shavers. I'm just not. Remember earlier in the season when we were like, hey, guys, don't get tricked by Luke McCaffrey. And then he scored 14.6 and then 10. Well, then he got 6 and 0 and 5 and 0 and 0 and 0 because he broke his collarbone. I'm not saying Tyrell Sherfish is going to break his collarbone, but let's cool the Jets. Let him do it again. I'd rather somebody else go waste their fab on a player that might hit at 26 years old. Chances are he's not going to hit. Last season, he had 13.9 points in one game, the entire season. He had one reception that was 69 yards and a touchdown.
We forgot somebody because it wasn't on the list, but we talked about it, about how he wasn't on the list because he's been injured. But Kayshon Boutte might have a chance to play this week.
Yes.
And he is still only 28.1% owned. And if he plays, they are playing the Bengals this week. You could not ask for a better matchup. And on top of that, Cam Taylor-Britt is done for the season, and I don't even know who his backup is. So, Boutte.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even think I don't even think they know who his backup is.
I mean,
I have to address a comment, and I know we said at the beginning of the show we will never talk about this guy ever again, but Alec Pierce is more than a sleeper. Just go back and listen to the last 3 weeks of episodes. Alec Pierce has been on our list of players you must pick up every single week.
Wait, who do you have that you have no room for him? Because
who's better than Alec Pierce right now? Name your entire bench.
You almost
I want every wide receiver on your bench. Because I bet you there's somebody that you could drop for Alec Pierce.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Let's talk about a guy that I think he's got one more chance, and it's going to be a tough one. But Xavier Worthy is on my list of players that gets another chance because Xavier Worthy is good, right? 5.5 is good, right? That's good.
I don't understand what's happening here.
Rashee Rice.
Yes, Rashee Rice is what's happening here, but how do you not have space for both of them to be good, to put up points? How
the Chiefs are bad. I that's the thing is the Chiefs are bad. This year, 5-5.
I was very happy this weekend.
Me too, actually. They let the Broncos get to 9-2. Now they got the 8-2 Colts. So this could be back-to-back weeks where they're the team that they lose to is 9-2. But we'll see. I'm not going to get ahead of myself here or ahead of ourselves here. But the Chiefs are not doing what the Chiefs do, and that's a problem. Xavier Worthy has had one game where he is absolutely startable, and that was week 4 against Baltimore, where he had 5 receptions and 8 targets. He had 83 yards, no touchdowns. Then he had 11 point, 10 point, 7, 10, 8, by 5. Since Rashee Rice came back in week 7, he has been absolutely brutal to watch. 7.8, 10.3, 8, 5.5. He's at most getting 7 targets, 5 receptions a game. And he's not really doing anything with it. He is not playable. I'd rather go roster Alec Pierce. I'd rather go roster Michael Wilson. Yeah. Jaden Higgins of Davis Mills plays more.
Yeah.
I might even roster Xavier Legette.
Go get Boutte.
Kayshon Boutte. There's other guys that I would rather roster.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy could be another landmine where somebody is like, oh my God, Xavier Worthy's on waivers. They go pick him up instead, and they drop somebody else that's good. They go drop Alec Pierce for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, right. I don't see that happening.
Not smart people, not people that watch our show. But yeah, he's got one more chance. Now he has the Colts this week, and they have one of the toughest secondaries now. So that could be a challenge for him. Yeah. Now, guys that you can, I think, safely cut. This one you might feel a little bit bad about. could have a little bit of regret, but Keon Coleman is the first one this week. He was on my one more chance list, but I think I've talked myself into it. He scored 0 points last week, and that's because he has an attitude issue, apparently.
He was a healthy scratch.
Yeah, he was a healthy scratch the day of. And apparently he missed team meetings last week and did not get.
Hence my question of, do the Bills even like him?
Don't think they do. I liked Keon Coleman, Florida State grad. I love him, but the Bills do not. And I don't know of a Bills fan that does like Keon Coleman at this point. Remember that time when he was wide receiver 1?
Way back when? Way back when?
He was the top player in fantasy, and everybody, even Will this weekend on the Sunday show, was like, man, I really missed my window of trading him. I was like, you mean week 1? Like, that was the week.
That was it. That was the window.
That was the whole window. So
it was cracked. It was cracked. Just for
the sad thing is there was Houston. His next 3 matchups: Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. He's got matchups. It's just I don't think the Bills like him enough. And maybe this past week was a week to say, hey, get right, get angry, show up to practice, do the things. But Keon Coleman's had an attitude problem for years, a few years now. So this isn't a new thing. This is something where Keon Coleman thinks he deserves more and he's not getting it. So he's throwing a tantrum. And this has been him since Florida State. So I think he's not
AJ Brown, so he can't get away with it.
Okay, so you could make room. But you have Tyler Warren and JT. And you can't have too many Colts. Now, I understand not having too many of the same team. However, they've already passed their bye week.
Right.
Don't worry about bye weeks now. That's the only reason why should not roster the same team that many times. Now, don't roster Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, and Alec Pierce. That would be bad. But you can roster their tight end, their running back, and their wide receiver. That's fine.
Yeah, they've already shown that all 3 of those guys can produce week in and week out. And it's not one of the teams where is it going to be this guy or is it going to be this guy? Like,
right. Holistically,
it's those 3 guys every week.
Jonathan Taylor, RB2 on this season. Mind you, he had a bye week this last week, so that's probably why Christian McCaffrey is in the lead. Tyler Warren is tight end 4 on this season, already passed his bye. Alec Pierce, since week 6, is wide receiver 10 on the season. Like, these are all guys that you could be starting and winning. So,
it's one of the few teams where I would feel totally fine about having
this
3 guys from the same team.
Only this year specifically.
Right.
You could even have Daniel Jones starting him. Like, he's a top 10 quarterback in fantasy this year.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, players honestly must just drop. Let's start with the easy one first. J.K. Dobbins, most likely going to miss the rest of the season. He has to have surgery.
He did announce that he could be back for the Super Bowl.
Drop him. Drop him. If you're rostering him, drop him immediately. He's rostered in 72.8% of leagues.
Yeah.
He can be at 0 next week. The only reason why you keep J.K. Dobbins is if you're in a keeper league, a dynasty league, or any of that. But we're playing redraft, assuming with no keepers. Drop him.
Yeah, drop him.
Just drop him. Now, this one could be controversial because I know many people like this player. Many people like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Bill Krosky-Merritt, JCM, however you want to say it.
Bill Krosky.
He's droppable. He's absolutely droppable. And I know it's like, but upside. But you know what? The Commanders don't even like to run.
There's what upside is there anymore.
27 points against the Chargers. He's had 3 games.
There's no upside anymore. Again, unless you're in a dynasty.
Right. He's had 3 games where he has scored more than 10 points, and those were all before week 5. He had a 14.2, 1.7, 10.1, 7.7, 27.
The hype did
and then
not
a 5, 4, 2, 5, 3, and 4. Bad. He was scoring more points in fantasy when he was getting less attempts. He had a week where he had 17 rush attempts, but he fumbled it and he had 5.8 points. He's just been bad since then. Ever since those fumbles in week 5 and 6, he has just been bad, and so bad that they've ran the ball to Chris Rodriguez instead. Like,
And
this offense is just bad.
and Chris Rodriguez is on my honorable mentions list. So even if he didn't make our waiver sheet, he's still on my list.
Yes.
Far down, but he is still on my list.
I have more upside to score 10 points than Mr. Bill does. Thank you, Jamie. I hope you mean me and not like Justin Fields, who's not starting this week. So those are our players this week. Would you trade Pickens and Tracy for Judkins and Flowers? No. I would keep Pickens and Tracy. Gut reaction, didn't even look at any stats, but gut reaction says I would keep Pickens and Tracy. Pickens is very good. And Tyron Tracy, 17.9. Yeah, I mean, you could trade him at the height, but I'm not willing to give up. You are giving up the best player in this trade.
Yeah.
And just to get Quinshon Judkins, who hasn't scored more than 10.5 since week 7. And now
he's trading
we don't
for
know
height.
who the quarterback is going to be. And then Zay Flowers, who has, Zay Flowers might be the safest 11 points in all of fantasy football.
I just can't with that offense. No. Don't even get me started on Lamar. I am.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for this week's episode of Priority Waivers on your Tuesday show. Hopefully you make all of your waiver claims. Don't forget to make your waiver claims. That's the most important part of waivers, is to actually make claims before tonight.
Go do that.
So go make all your claims, whether you're in 1 league, 2 leagues, or 35 leagues. Go do those. Tomorrow we will be back at noon Eastern for the Start Sit Showdown, and then 8 p.m. Eastern for your weekly weekly rankings. Thursday, our DFS show at 9 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, Dynasty in 30 at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Get ready with me as I make some kind of food. Still taking suggestions from all of you, but making some kind of food and answering any last minute Start Sit questions. Charlene, do you have anything?
Go get your guys. Drop that fab. Get Alec Pierce.
Get Alec Pierce. We're not talking about Alec Pierce next week. I don't care how much he's not rostered. We're not talking about Alec Pierce next week. So remember that. Until next week. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.